Listen to me. You keep saying you want it, but your actions don't match your words. You say you want to be great, but still hitting snooze. You say you want to win, but still waiting for somebody to give you a handout. Let me be real with you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need more time. You need hunger. You need fire. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done playing small. I'm done talking about it. I'm about to be about it. I'm about to be about it. See, people who really want it don't make excuses. They make adjustments. The people who really want it don't wait for doors to open. They kick them down. You waiting for permission? I'm giving it to you. Go get it, bye. Because when you want it bad enough, quitting ain't an option. Sleep becomes a luxury. Comfort becomes the enemy. And obstacles, they're just opportunities to prove how serious you are. So don't tell me you want it. Show me. Show me in the dark when nobody's watching. Show me when it hurts, when it's heavy, when you're tired, when it's ugly. That's when champions are made. That's when legacies are built. If you want it bad enough, you'll either find a way or you'll make one. Desire isn't just a feeling, it's fuel. It's not just a warm emotion that stirs up in the heart when you see something you want. No, desire is what separates the average from the elite, the dreamers from the doers. Anybody can want something. Anybody can talk about how much they love to be successful, how much they wish they could change their life. But that wish means nothing without action. That one means nothing without sacrifice. Because when you want something bad enough, that desire becomes the engine. It becomes the fire that keeps burning even when everything else around you is falling apart. People say they want to win. They say they want to be successful. But the moment life punches them in the mouth, they quit. That tells you everything you need to know. How bad did they really want it? If a little discomfort, a little pain, a little setback makes you fold, you didn't want it. You liked the idea of winning, but you weren't willing to go through the struggle to earn it. There's a big difference. Everybody wants the glory, but few are willing to carry the weight. You brought weight to carry the weight. Few are willing to bleed, to sweat, to cry, to sacrifice sleep, to lose friends, to say no to distractions, to push past fear, and keep going when everything inside them is screaming to stop. Desire isn't something you feel when things are going right. It's something you hold on to when nothing is going right, when the doors are closing, when your bank account is empty, when your body is exhausted, when your mind is doubting, when people walk away. Desire is what keeps you standing. It's what pushes you to take another step. You don't need talent to keep going. You don't need resources to keep going. You need desire. Raw, unbreakable desire. That's the foundation. That's the heartbeat. If you don't have desire, nothing else matters. You ever seen someone who's not the smartest, not the strongest, not the most talented, but they just keep showing up? They just keep grinding. They keep learning. They keep pushing. They outlast the ones who had every advantage. That's desire. That's what it looks like. It doesn't always shine. It doesn't always make noise, but it's consistent. It shows up on time. It stays late. It puts in the extra reps when no one's watching. It studies while others sleep. It trains when others party. It listens when others argue. Desire makes you dangerous because it keeps you locked in when the world says you're done. And the truth is, desire is a choice. You choose to fuel it or let it die. Every morning you wake up, you either feed it or starve it. You either protect your vision or you let the world rob it. You either say, I'm going to do whatever it takes, or you settle for average. And I promise you, average will always be there. Comfort will always be waiting. Excuses will always sound reasonable, but success is reserved for the few who are willing to suffer for it. For the ones who don't just want it, they need it like oxygen. They wake up hungry. They go to bed hungry. They dream about it, they cry over it, and they'll crawl through hell to reach it. You don't get to complain about the life you didn't earn. You don't get to talk about your goals if your effort doesn't match your ambition. If you want it, prove it. Every single day. Prove it with your discipline. Prove it with your work ethic. Prove it with your focus. You don't need to broadcast your dreams. Let your grind speak for you. Let your consistency be your voice. Let your results be the noise. Let your improvement tell the story. If you stay ready, if you stay hungry, if you stay locked in, you'll separate yourself. Not overnight, not in a week, but in time. Because desire doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for ideal circumstances. It just moves. It acts. It adapts. Signs away. So if you're sitting there wondering why you're not where you want to be, ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Now, how much do you talk about it? Now, how much do you post about it? How much do you fight for it? How much do you sacrifice for it? How much do you hurt for it? And keep going anyway. That's desire. That's what it takes. Because if you want it bad enough, you won't need motivation. You'll be self-fueled. You'll be driven by something deeper than hype, deeper than emotion. You'll be driven by purpose. And that kind of hunger, that kind of fire, it doesn't burn out. It becomes who you are. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to avoid the truth. That's it. They sound nice. They feel comforting, but they're lies. Every time you say, I'm too tired, or I don't have enough time, or I wasn't born with that talent, you're creating a soft little pillow for yourself to fall on so you don't have to face the reality of your own inaction. You're building walls to protect your comfort zone, not to grow. And what you don't realize is that every excuse you make is a chain that holds you back from who you were born to be. You aren't protecting yourself. You're imprisoning yourself. You see, it's easy to blame your situation. It's easy to point to your family, your school, your job, your past, your pain. But the truth is brutal. It's you. It's your choices. It's your daily decision. It's your refusal to push past pain. It's your addiction to comfort. You can have results or excuses. You can't have both. Excuses are seductive. They give you a reason to stay the same. They whisper, it's okay. You're trying your best. But deep down, you know that isn't true. Deep down, you know there's more you could have done, more you should have done. People don't want to hear that. They don't want to be held accountable. They want someone to pat them on the back and say, it's not your fault. But champions don't live in denial. Champions don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They stop lying to themselves and start owning everything. The time you wasted, that's on you. The reps you skipped, that's on you. The opportunities you didn't take, that's on you. And until you admit that, nothing changes. Nothing. See, the most dangerous lies are the ones you believe. Because when you start believing your excuses, they become your reality. They don't just live in your mouth. They infect your mindset. They shape your identity. I'm not smart enough becomes who you are. I'm not good with people becomes your personality. I can't succeed because of where I come from becomes your life story. But that's fiction. That's fear talking, not true. Not true. And if you want to go to the next level, you got to start killing those lies at the root. You've got to confront the fear, the laziness, the weakness inside of you and say, not today. I'm done running from the truth. The truth hurts, but it also heals. Truth. The truth tells you that you've been wasting time scrolling instead of studying. The truth says you've been skipping workouts because you lack discipline, not because you're too busy. The truth exposes every area where you've been selling yourself short. And if you're brave enough to listen, it will also lead you. It will show you what you need to do. It'll show you what to cut out, what to commit to, what to endure, and what to sacrifice. You don't need a new strategy. You need to get rid of the excuses. You need more motivation. You need more accountability. Stop blaming your circumstances. Some of the most successful people on the planet came from nothing. Not the perfect conditions. They had excuses too, but they chose to fight instead of fold. They chose to grind instead of whine. They chose to outwork the pain instead of using it as an alibi. Excuses are the language of the average. They are the anthem of the quitters. But you were not born to be average. You were not created to live a life of almost and a what if. You have the power to break the cycle. You have the choice every single day to say, I will no longer lie to myself. Because the moment you do that, you take control. And when you take control, everything changes. You stop waiting for opportunities and you start creating them. You stop asking for permission and you start building the life you deserve. But it starts with one decision. No more excuses. That doesn't mean life gets easy. That doesn't mean you'll win every time. But it means you'll never again use weakness as a reason to stay down. You'll fall, but you'll rise. You'll struggle, but you'll grow. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment you start becoming unstoppable. The moment you strip away the excuses, the moment the real you shows up. The moment the real you shows up. The hungry you, the disciplined you, the focused you, the version of you that doesn't fold under pressure but rises through it. Every excuse you kill is one step closer to greatness. Every lie you silence one step closer to truth. And that truth, the truth of who you are, of who you can be, is more powerful than any excuse ever will be. So kill the lie, stop defending your limitation, and show the world what happens when someone tells themselves the truth and then lives it. Obstacles are not stop signs, they're tests. They're not there to break you, they're there to reveal you. Life doesn't hand out rewards for free. It makes you earn them. It throws walls in your path to see how bad you really want what's on the other side. Most people see an obstacle and turn around. They take it as a sign to quit, to give up, to settle for less. But the ones who win, they're the ones who see that same wall and figure out how to climb it, break through it, or find a way around it. They don't stop. They adjust. They adapt. They endure. Every challenge you face is a question life is asking you. How committed are you? Respond to that question. Determines everything. Are you going to fold the moment it gets hard? Or are you going to dig deeper? Are you going to complain? Or are you going to complain? Or are you going to grow stronger? See, obstacles don't block the path. They're the path. You can't wish your way to success. You can't shortcut your way around the process. The struggle is part of the journey. It's what sharpens you. It's what humbles you. It's what builds you. Most people want the results, but they don't want the resistance. But what they don't realize is the resistance is what makes you ready. It's what prepares you for the next level. If everything came easy, you would never grow. You'd never be tested. And if you're not tested, you'll never know what you're made of. That obstacle you're facing, it's not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're moving. It means you're in the game. You're in the arena. You're chasing something worth fighting for. Sometimes the obstacle is fear. Sometimes it's doubt. Sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it's physical. But no matter what form it takes, the principle remains the same. You can't let it define your limits. Too many people allow their obstacles to become excuses. They let what stands in their way convince them that the dream isn't possible. But the obstacle doesn't mean stop. It means fight. It means strategize. It means level up. There's always a way through it. You just have to refuse to give up until you find it. You've got to shift your perspective. Stop looking at challenges like punishment. Start seeing them as preparation. That thing you're going through right now is training you. It's developing your grit. It's forcing you to become more resourceful, more patient, more determined. Every delay is teaching you endurance. Every failure is teaching you something you couldn't learn through success. Every moment you spend climbing that mountain is giving you the strength to stand on the summit when you get there. And you will get there if you don't quit. That's the difference between winners and everyone else. Not talent, not background, not luck, just the decision to keep going, to push forward no matter what. The moment you decide that obstacles are not optional, they're essential. Your whole mindset changes. You stop fearing resistance. You stop expecting everything to go smooth. You welcome the challenge because you know what's on the other side is worth it. Think about every person who's ever inspired you, every athlete, every entrepreneur, every leader. They all had obstacles. They all faced moments when it looked impossible, but they didn't let that stop them. They used the obstacle as fuel. When doors closed, they built new ones. When people doubted them, they believed in themselves even harder. They didn't wait for the perfect path. They created it through perseverance, and if they did it, so can you. But it starts with how you see the obstacle. Do you see it as a reason to quit or as a test of your strength? Do you see it as a curse or a challenge that can shape you? Life is going to hit you. It's going to knock you down. And every time it does, you have to decide, will I stay down or will I get up stronger? Because the obstacle is only permanent if you let it be. It only wins if you surrender. But if you rise every time you fall, if you press forward every time you're blocked, eventually that obstacle becomes your breakthrough. It's not about having the easiest road. It's about being the kind of person who can walk any road. It's not about avoiding problems. It's about becoming someone who grows stronger through them. So don't run from the obstacle. Don't curse it. Or curse it. Lean into it. Let it teach you. Let it stretch you. Let it sharpen the weapon. That is your will. Because when you rise up in the face of resistance, when you choose persistence over excuses, that's when you become unstoppable. Not because the path is easy, but because you decided you would never let anything make you stop. If you want it as bad as you want to breathe, nothing will stop you. That's not a metaphor. That's a truth that separates the ones who kind of want success from the ones who are obsessed with it. When you want to breathe, your body does whatever it takes. No hesitation, no distraction, no excuses. When you're underwater and you're running out of air, you don't think about food, entertainment, or how tired you are. You're focused on one thing, getting back to the surface. That kind of desperation, that kind of tunnel vision, that kind of fight, that's what it takes to win. Most people say they want success, but the moment it gets inconvenient, they disappear. They fold at the first sign of resistance. They let tiredness, boredom, or fear decide their future. That means they don't want it bad enough. Because if you really wanted it, you'd be willing to go without sleep. You'd be willing to grind while others rest. You study while others party. You train while others relax. You wouldn't need motivation. You'd be driven by a deeper purpose, by a hunger that doesn't go away. Think about this. When you're chasing air, you don't care what people think. You don't worry about how you look. You don't wait for perfect timing. You move, you act, you hustle. You fight like your life depends on it, because it does. That's the level of urgency you need to bring to your dreams. Not later, not someday. You gotta live like the opportunity is slipping away every second you waste. Because it is. Every hour you spend doing nothing, someone else is getting better. Someone else is outworking you. Someone else is building the life you say you want. You don't get to the top with half-hearted effort. You get there with all-out obsession. It's not enough to kind of want it. You have to need it. Your next breath. Like your survival depends on it, because the truth is it does. Your purpose is the air your soul breathes. Without it, you're just existing, not living. And if you don't chase it with everything you got, you'll wake up one day choking on regret. But when you truly want it, when that fire is burning inside you, there is no plan B. There's no backup route. You burn the ships and you fight until you win. No excuse, no distraction, no delay can shake you when you're locked in on the mission. You stop letting people talk you out of your greatness. You stop letting your environment dictate your drive. You become relentless. You become focused. You become someone who doesn't ask for opportunity. They create them. People will think you're crazy. They'll tell you to slow down, take a break, live a little. But they don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They don't know the vision that keeps you awake at night. They don't understand the fire in your gut, and they're not supposed to. It's your dream, not theirs. So stop waiting for validation. Stop explaining your grind. Stop apologizing for being obsessed with something greater. You're not here to be average. You're here to rise. It won't be easy. You're here to rise. It won't be easy. You'll face doubt. You'll feel pain. You'll want to quit. But when the desire is stronger than the struggle, you'll keep going. When you want it as bad as you want to breathe, giving up isn't an option. It's not even a thought. You go broke chasing it. You'll fail 1,000 times trying to build it, but you'll get back up. You'll keep climbing, because deep down, you know there's nothing else worth living for. Comfort won't fulfill you. Laziness won't satisfy you. Only purpose will. So when you wake up, ask yourself, how bad do I want it? You feel like skipping to work, remind yourself why you started. When distractions come, remember what you're fighting for. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to doubt. You gotta move with urgency, with passion, with power, because your dreams don't wait. And neither should you. Success isn't for the curious, it's for the committed. It's for the ones who stop talking and start grinding. For the ones who show up when no one's watching. For the ones who don't need perfect condition. They just need purpose. So if you want it, prove it. Sacrifice for it. Fight for it. Go through the pain for it. And when it feels like the world is against you, when it feels like the pressure is too much, remember, if you want it as bad as you want to breathe, nothing will stop you. The world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't care how hard your past was, how unfair your circumstances are, or how big your dreams might be. It responds to effort, discipline, and relentless consistency. If you want something, you've got to be willing to work for it day in, day out. You can't show up once and expect results. You can't grind for a week and expect your life to change. Greatness is reserved for those who keep showing up, especially on the days they don't feel like it. Now, consistency is the real difference maker. It's not always loud, flashy, or motivational. It's about doing the right things over and over, even when no one's clapping for you. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you build strength. Every time you push through fatigue instead of taking the easy route, you build grit. And every day you stay consistent, you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. But the reason most people don't reach their goals isn't because they're not capable. It's because they're not consistent. They show up strong on Monday, lose focus by Wednesday, and completely fall off by the weekend. They ride the wave of motivation instead of mastering the art of commitment. But motivation is a mood, commitment is a mindset. If you rely on how you feel to determine whether or not you show up, you'll never be great. There will be days you don't feel like it. Days where you're tired. Days where the results don't seem worth the effort. Days where the work feels pointless. But those are the days that define you. Anybody can work hard when it's easy, when they're excited, when they're fresh. But champions separate themselves in the moments no one sees. Early mornings, late nights, missed parties, quiet sacrifices. Those boring, disciplined, thankless days, that's where greatness is built. Consistency doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment. It's not always sexy. You don't always get instant results. In fact, sometimes it feels like nothing's changing. But underneath the surface, things are happening. Habits are forming. Momentum is building. The compound effect is taking hold. And one day, after weeks, months, maybe even years of showing up, the breakthrough hits. You wake up and realize you're not who you used to be. You're stronger, sharper, better. Not because of one big event, but because of 1,000 small decisions stacked on top of each other. That's what consistency is. The daily decision to move forward even when progress seems invisible. It's brushing your teeth every day so your smile shines years from now. It's doing those extra reps in the gym even when you're sore. It's writing one page a day even when you don't know how the book ends. It's making smart choices when no one is watching. It's not glamorous. It's not loud, but it works. And here's the truth. When you develop consistency, you become dangerous. You become someone who can't be stopped by emotions, distractions, or failures. You become someone who does the work regardless of recognition. You become someone who's not just chasing success. You're becoming the kind of person who can sustain it. Because talent might get you noticed, but consistency will make you legendary. Anyone can start strong. Few can finish strong. And the only way to finish strong is to keep showing up. Think about it. Your dream isn't going to come true because you gave it a good effort one time. It's going to come true because you refused to stop. Because when others quit, you kept going. When it got hard, you dug deeper. When it got boring, you stayed locked in. That's consistency. And that's the difference between those who talk and those who achieve. Between those who wish and those who win. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You will fail. You will miss a day. You will make mistakes, but you don't quit. You reset, refocus, and get back to work. The greatest weapon you have is your ability to keep showing up, because success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most committed. So wake up and commit to the work, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day and the next. Make discipline your best friend. Make your routine your safety net. Don't negotiate with laziness. Don't argue with your goals. Just show up, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's hard. Because one day you'll look back and thank yourself for every day you didn't quit, for every small silent victory, for every drop of sweat that felt wasted but actually moved you closer. Success is not about doing everything. It's about doing something every single day. Over time, that something becomes everything. And that's how you win, through consistency that refuses to quit. Excuses are easy. They're comfortable. They give you permission to stay in the same place and justify your lack of results. But comfort never made anyone great. The moment you decide to let go of excuses is the moment your life begins to change. As long as you have an excuse, you've already given yourself a way out. And when you have a way out, you'll use it. The problem isn't the situation. It's the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't succeed. You don't lack time, you lack priority. You don't lack ability, you lack belief. And deep down, you know it. People say things like, I'm too tired, I don't have the right resources, or no one supports me, or it's too late for me. But the truth is, someone with less than you is already doing more than you because they refuse to accept excuses. They didn't need perfect conditions. They didn't wait for approval. They just started. They made a decision to fight through the obstacles instead of explaining why they could. And that's the only difference between them and most others. They chose to take full ownership of their future. When you start blaming the world, your family, your background, your teachers, your circumstances, you give away your power. You tell yourself the lie that you are stuck because of something outside of you. But the real trap is not what happened to you. It's how long you allow it to be the reason you don't move forward. Life isn't fair. It never has been. You don't need fair to be great. You just need fight. You just need the courage to say enough. I'm done making excuses. I'm going to make it happen. Regardless, every second you waste complaining is a second someone else is using to get better. Every time you say, I can't without trying, you prove yourself right. But every time you show up and give your best, even when it's inconvenient, you rewrite your story. You take control. You begin to shape a future built on resilience, not regret. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about recognizing that, yes, things are hard, but you're still responsible for how you respond. You might not be able to control everything that happens, but you can control how you show up. You can choose to find a way instead of finding a way out. That's the mindset of a winner. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for ideal conditions. They just decide that their goals are non-negotiable. Excuses are like chains. They're invisible, but they keep you locked in place. They keep you from chasing your dream. They keep you from discovering your full potential. And the longer you hold on to them, the heavier they become. Until one day you're looking back at your life, realizing that the only thing that ever truly held you back was the story you kept repeating to yourself. The story that said, I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I've done enough. I can't do this. It was never true. You want results? Then stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop blaming your schedule. Stop blaming your past. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Nobody's coming. It's on you. And that's not a burden. It's a blessing. Because once you realize it's on you, you become free. You become free. You become dangerous. You realize that everything you need is already inside of you. All the strength, all the grit, all the creativity is there. You just got to stop silencing it with excuses. People are always looking for a secret, some hack or shortcuts to success. But the truth is simple. Show up and do the work. Not once, not when it's easy, but every day, especially when it's hard. Especially when it hurts, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that's when it counts. That's when most people quit. And that's when your character is forged. Excuses fade the moment discipline takes over. And discipline is built in those moments you choose effort over comfort. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most connected. You just need to be the one who refuses to let excuses define you. The one who says, I don't care how many times I fall, I'm getting back up. The one who understands that growth comes from pushing through resistance, not avoiding it. Every time you silence the excuse and take action anyway, you grow, you level up. You prove to yourself that you are not a victim, you're a victor. So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Just go. Just build. Just hustle. You can't afford to keep giving excuses space in your mind. Replace them with action. Replace them with responsibility. Replace them with the kind of hunger that refuses to quit. Because the world doesn't move for excuses. It moves for effort. It moves for execution. It moves for those who decide that no matter what happens, I will find a way. Success isn't just about grinding hard one time. It's about staying laser focused over the long haul. Distractions are everywhere, pulling you away from your goals inch by inch, day by day. They come disguised as entertainment, comfort, noise, even the people around you. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up months or years later wondering how your dreams slipped through your fingers. That's why focus isn't optional. It's everything. If you can't control your attention, you can't control your future. The world is loud. Notifications, scrolling, dramas, opinions. Your attention is being auctioned off every second. And if you don't guard it, something or someone else will take it. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need to make a decision to tune out the noise and zero in on your mission. That means saying no when others say yes. That means stepping away from things that look good but don't move you forward. Focus is the discipline of locking your eye on the target and refusing to blink. It's easy to start something. It's hard to stay consistent when it's boring, frustrating, or slow. That's where most people quit. Not because they weren't talented, but because they were distracted. They started chasing something else. They wanted quick wins. They wanted to feel good instead of doing what's necessary. They let temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. And that's the mistake. Success comes to those who stay planted, who stay locked in, who keep watering the seed when it still looks like dirt. The enemy of greatness isn't failure, it's distraction. You don't lose because you weren't good enough. You lose because you weren't focused enough. You kept pausing the grind to entertain things that don't serve your vision. You kept letting people pull you into their drama instead of pushing deeper into your purpose. And every time you let your attention drip, you slow your momentum. You lose precious time you'll never get back. You give your energy to things that don't give back to you. And worst of all, you teach your mind that it's okay to be unfocused. To win at the highest level, you've got to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. That means building mental toughness to stay locked in on your goals even when life gets chaotic. That means choosing purpose over pleasure. That means showing up every day with intention. You can't afford to operate randomly. You can't keep waking up without a plan and hoping things fall into place. You've got to be strategic. You've got to be intentional. You've got to decide what matters and then give it everything you've got. Some days you're going to be tempted to wander, to take it easy, to indulge in things that pull you away from the grind. But every time you give in to distraction, you lose ground. Every time you scroll mindlessly instead of building, you trade long-term fulfillment for short-term stimulation. And those trades add up. Eventually, you look around and realize you've been busy, but not effective, active, but not productive. That's the danger of distraction. It feels harmless, but it's destructive. If you want to separate yourself from the pack, develop ruthless focus, turn off the noise. Stop chasing 100 things and master one. You don't need a million opportunities. You need to dominate one lane. Become elite at your craft. Build deep instead of wide. While everyone else is hopping from one thing to another, you stay grounded. While they're distracted by opinions and trends, you're sharpening your edge. That's how legends are made. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters most with intensity and consistency. People will call you obsessed. Let them. Obsession is just focus that refuses to be interrupted. They'll say you're missing out, but what you're actually missing is wasted time, meaningless conversations, and regret. Because while they were playing around, you were building something real. And later, when the results come, they'll ask how you did it. But they won't understand the price you paid to stay focused. The sacrifices, the discipline, the silence, the loneliness. That's the cost of greatness. You got to protect your time like your life depends on, because it does. Time is your most valuable asset. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can get more money, more opportunities, more followers, but you can never get more time. So spend it like a warrior, invest it like it's sacred. Cut off distractions like they're enemies, because they are. They're killing your momentum, your passion, your purpose, and you've got too much in you to be wasting your shot. Every day is a test. Will you choose focus or fall into distraction? Will you honor your vision or betray it for comfort? It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Every focused hour stacks up. Every disciplined day compound. And before you know it, you'll be so far ahead, no one will be able to touch you. Nobody is going to hand you your dream. Nobody is going to knock on your door and say, here's the life you've been hoping for. If you want it, you've got to be willing to get up and take it. Too many people are waiting for the right time, waiting for the right time, waiting for the right feeling, waiting for someone to give them permission. And in that waiting, the opportunity slips away. Life doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who show up, step up, and do the hard things when they least feel like it. Success doesn't happen because it's convenient. It happens because someone showed up and gave effort even when every part of them wanted to quit. You've got to stop looking at the mountain in front of you and complaining about how tall it is. You got to stop measuring how far you have to go and start moving your feet. One step, then another, and then another. Because every step is progress. Every rep, every hour, every sacrifice, it adds up. It matters. But nothing changes if you keep standing still. Nothing improves if you only talk about it. You don't need more time. You don't need better conditions. You need movement. You need to shift from dreaming to doing, from planning to pushing. Effort isn't a feeling. It's a decision. You either decide to show up and give your best or you don't. You either attack the day with purpose or you waste it. And here's the thing. You're not going to feel motivated every day. You're not always going to wake up excited. Some days you'll be tired. Some days life will hit you hard. Some days you won't see the results you hope for. But you still have to show up to show up. You still have to do the work. You still have to push. Because that's what separates average from excellent, the ability to act even when the fire is dim. Everyone talks about the grind, but few are willing to truly live. Because the grind isn't glam. It's not Instagram worthy. It's early morning, late nights, repetition, boredom, sweat, setbacks, silence. It's doing what needs to be done even when no one's clapping. And that's why most people never reach the level they're capable of. Because they stop when it stops being exciting. But you've got to be different. You've got to push when it's uncomfortable. You've got to rise when others sit. You've got to choose effort every single time. Because effort is the price of greatness. You don't get to skip the process. You don't get to cheat the system. You don't get results just because you want them. You get results because you earned them, and you earned them through consistency, through showing up on the days when everything inside you says, not today, through discipline that said, I don't care how I feel. I've got work to do. If your future matters to you, you got to prove it through your action. Not your wishes, not your wishes, not your wishes. Your work. Every time you give effort, you're building momentum. You're laying bricks, and brick by brick, you're constructing the life you said you wanted. But the moment you stop, the moment you decide it's too hard or not worth it, that's when the foundation cracks. You lose ground. You slip backward. And starting over is always harder than pushing through. So don't stop, don't slow down. Even if you're crawling, keep moving forward. You have to want it more than your excuses, more than your distractions, more than your need for comfort, more than your desire to fit in. You have to want it with every part of you because effort is a reflection of desire. If you're not putting in the work, you don't want it bad enough. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, to sacrifice, to stay up late or wake up early, then stop saying it's your dream. Call it what it is, a wish, because dreams require effort, not just hope. This world doesn't move for the soft. It doesn't open up for those who hesitate. It opens for the ones who get up every day and give effort like their life depends on it, because it does. You've only got so much time, so many chances, so many days. You can't afford to waste another one, not if you're serious, not if you're hungry. So ask yourself, are you giving this everything you got? Are you really showing up the way you say you want success to show up for you? It's not gonna be easy, but it's going to be worth it. When you look back at your life, you won't regret the effort you gave. Where? You'll regret the moments you didn't, the days you chose comfort, the times you stayed silent when you should have spoken up, the opportunities you let slip because you were afraid or lazy or distracted. But every day you choose effort, you're building a legacy. You're proving to yourself in the world that you're not average, that you are willing to earn it. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop playing small, get up, lock in, push harder, show the world what effort really looks like. Because when you give your full effort, something incredible happens. You begin to change, not just your results, but your identity. There's something powerful about refusing to quit. It's not loud. It doesn't get celebrated right away, but it builds something deep inside you. A kind of strength that nothing and no one can take away. Life will test you. That's a guarantee. It'll knock you down, mess up your plans, break your heart, and try to convince you that you're not enough. But your greatest weapon in those moments is your refusal to quit. You may be tired. You may be broken. But if you keep moving, just one more step, one more breath, one more effort, you're still in the fight. And that means you still have a chance to win. The truth is, everybody hits walls. Everyone hits walls. Everyone has moments where they question everything. You'll have days when the weight feels too heavy, when progress is invisible, when it seems like nothing you're doing is working. That's normal. But what separates winners from the rest isn't the absence of struggle, it's the refusal to surrender to it. Winners understand that pain is part of the process. That doubt is part of the journey. That exhaustion is a sign they're moving forward, not a reason to stop. Quitting is easy. It's always an option. That's why so many people take it. It offers immediate relief. It takes away the pressure. It removes the discomfort. But what it also takes silently, without warning, is your dream. It takes your momentum. It takes your self-respect. Because deep down, you know you have more in you. And that knowledge doesn't fade, it follows you. You carry the weight of what could have been. That's a pain far greater than failure. The pain of never knowing what was truly possible. Every time you keep going when you could have quit, you strengthen your identity. You teach yourself that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You're the architect of your future. You're someone who honors your commitments, someone who shows up no matter how hard it gets. And that kind of identity builds confidence. It builds character. It builds belief. You stop needing outside validation because your consistency becomes your proof. There are people out there right now with half your talent, half your opportunity, and half your resources, and they're still finding a way. Why? Because they won't quit. They show up every day with grit, with fire, with the mindset that says, if I can't go through the front door, I'll build a new door. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait to feel perfect. They just go. And eventually, life moves out of their way, not because it wanted to, but because they refuse to stop pushing. When you keep going in the face of adversity, you're building more than success. You're building endurance. You're learning how to carry weight without collapsing. You're learning how to face storms without losing your focus. That kind of toughness can't be fake. It can't be borrowed. It can't be bought. It has to be earned in the fire of resistance. And once you've built it, you're unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, don't think for a second they didn't feel like quitting. They didn't feel like quitting. They did many times. But they didn't let those feelings dictate their actions. They kept going. They kept believing. They kept fighting even when they didn't feel strong. That's what made them great. Not their talent, not their luck, their persistence, their refusal to quit even when quitting made sense to everyone else. You've got to have a reason bigger than your excuses, a vision that pulls you through the pain, a purpose that gives your struggle meaning. Because if you don't, the moment things get tough, you'll fold. But when you decided, truly decided that you're going all in, no matter what, then there's no obstacle that can stop you. You might bend, but you won't break. You might slow down, but you won't stop. Quitting isn't just giving up on the task. It's giving up on the task. It's giving up on the version of yourself you're becoming. It's saying no to the growth, the lessons, the transformation that only come through endurance. And the tragic part is, most people quit right before the breakthrough. They stop digging when they're inches from goal. They walk away just before the momentum kicks in. But not you. You're gonna keep showing up, keep climbing, keep swinging, because you understand that your future depends on it. So when it gets hard, and it will get hard, don't look for the exit. Look for the reason to keep going. Remind yourself why you started. Picture who you're doing this for. You're doing this for. Remember that every struggle has a purpose. Every setback has a lesson, and every storm you endure makes the victory that much sweeter. Pain is temporary. Regret lasts a lifetime. So dig deep. Now hold the line and keep fighting until the fight is won. Your refusal to quit is your power. It's your edge. A power. It's what will separate you from the crowd. Not your background, not your education, not your circumstances, your grit, your heart. There's a moment in every journey where it feels like nothing is happening. You're putting in the hours, making the sacrifices, staying disciplined, but the results just aren't there. No one is clapping. No one is calling. No one is watching. And in that silence, doubt creeps in. You start asking yourself, is this worth it? Is anything I'm doing even working? But that's the test. That moment, when the world seems quiet, is when champions are born. Because while everyone else quits when the applause stops, the great ones keep working. They don't need the spotlight to grind. They don't need validation to believe. They decided that their value isn't determined by what others see, but by what they know is coming. Success has a quiet phase, a season where everything you're doing feels invisible. You're building in private, failing in silence, sacrificing behind closed doors. And the world doesn't see the missed parties, the sleepless nights, the pressure you're carrying alone. But that's how greatness is formed, in the dark, not in the spotlight. Seeds don't sprout the second you plant them. There's a period where nothing is visible, but beneath the surface, roots are growing. Your habits, your mindset, your resilience, that's what's taking shape. So don't be fooled by the silence. Just because it's not loud doesn't mean it's not working. People want fast. They want instant results. They want the win without the work. But the truth is, what comes fast doesn't last. You don't want what's easy, you want what's earned. Because when you've worked inside, when you fall through the doubt, when you've stayed loyal to the process, even when no one was watching, you know you're ready. You've been tested, you built something real. So when the opportunity finally shows up, you don't flinch. You don't crack under pressure. You've already been forged in the fire. Silence can be lonely. It can feel like you're forgotten, like your efforts don't matter. But those who keep showing up in silence, those who keep working with no audience, are the ones who shock the world when the moment comes. Because while everyone else was talking, you were doing. While they were looking for shortcuts, you were mastering your craft. So when the spotlight finally finds you, you're not surprised. You're ready. You've earned it. There will be people who doubt you, who tell you to give it up, who laugh at your grind because they can't see the results yet. Let them. That's not your concern. Their opinions don't pay your bills. Their words don't build your future. What matters is that you keep believing, even if no one else does, especially when no one else does. Because belief is the fuel that gets you through the silence. When the crowd disappears and the noise fades, all that's left is your why. And if your why is strong enough, you'll never need applause to keep going. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life happen right after the point most people give up. Not because conditions changed, but because persistence finally paid off. Consistency is a compounding force. Every day you show up, every rep you give, every hour you invest, it adds up. But the compound effect doesn't show itself right away. It hides. It tests your patience. It asks, how bad do you really want this? And if your answer is anything less than everything, you won't make it. But if you stay locked in, if you keep planting, keep working, keep grinding in silence, one day the harvest will come, and it will come fast, all at once. Not because it was sudden, but because you refused to quit. Too many people get caught up in the need for recognition. They want people to know they're working. They want credit before they've created something worth crediting. That's ego. And ego kills more dreams than failure ever will. The ones who win big are the ones who are humble enough to work unnoticed, hungry enough to grind without applause, and mature enough to know that real success takes time. You've got to trust the process even when it looks like nothing's happening. You got to stay faithful to your routine even when no one's watching. You've got to keep building even when the world keeps doubting. Because if you stop every time it gets quiet, you'll never hear the sound of your own growth. You'll never find the rhythm of your own greatness. Silence isn't a sign to stop, it's a sign to go harder. Remember, noise is temporary, but legacy is permanent. And legacy is built in the unseen hours. In the early mornings when no one's awake. In the late nights when everyone else is asleep. In the choices you make when no one's checking. That's where you become undeniable. Not on stage, but in the shadows. So don't let the silence discourage you. Let it sharpen you, let it sharpen you, let it toughen you. Let it fuel you. Because when you keep working in silence long enough, you won't have to announce your success. It will announce you. The same people who doubted you will ask how you did it.